The sixth plague of Egypt is boils. As Moses and Aaron warned Pharaoh of the impending plague, Pharaoh refused to listen, leading to widespread suffering among the Egyptian population. The boils inflicted by the sixth plague were a painful reminder of the power of the God of Israel and his demand for the release of the Hebrew slaves. As the boils spread throughout Egypt, Pharaoh's stubbornness only intensified, leading to further devastation and suffering among his people. Despite the affliction of boils, Pharaoh remained obstinate, refusing to release the Hebrew slaves until the final and most devastating plague struck Egypt. With the sixth plague of boils ravaging Egypt, the stage was set for the culmination of the divine punishment and Pharaoh's eventual capitulation to the will of God. As the sixth plague ran its course, leaving a trail of suffering and desperation in its wake, the countdown to the ultimate confrontation between Pharaoh and Moses drew closer. The seventh plague that swept through Egypt was a devastating hailstorm, large balls of ice raining down from the sky. The hailstorm was unlike anything they had ever experienced, destroying crops, homes, and livelihoods in its path. The people of Egypt were left in shock and disbelief, struggling to comprehend the magnitude of the destruction caused by the seventh plague. As the hailstorm raged on, it left a trail of devastation in its wake, leaving the once fertile land barren and lifeless. The seventh plague served as a harsh reminder of the power and wrath of the divine forces at play in Egypt, causing widespread fear and panic among the people. Despite the chaos and destruction wrought by the hailstorm, there was still a glimmer of hope among the people that they would eventually overcome this trial. With determination and resilience, the people of Egypt began to rebuild and restore their land, refusing to be defeated by the seventh plague. The seventh plague left a lasting impact on the land and its inhabitants, serving as a reminder of the consequences of disobedience and the power of divine intervention. The eighth plague that destroyed Egypt was a swarm of locusts, descending upon the land like a dark cloud. The locusts covered the sky, blocking out the sun and leaving darkness in their wake as they ravaged every green plant in sight. The air was filled with the deafening sound of buzzing wings, and the ground writhed with the movements of countless locusts crawling everywhere. As the locusts devoured everything in their path, the once fertile land of Egypt was left barren and desolate, a wasteland of destruction. The people of Egypt cried out in despair as the locusts continued their relentless assault, leaving no food or sustenance in their wake. In the aftermath of the eighth plague, Egypt lay in ruins, its once prosperous land reduced to a desolate wasteland by the relentless swarm of locusts. The people of Egypt were left to pick up the pieces of their shattered lives, mourning the loss of their crops, livestock, and livelihoods. The ninth plague that ravaged Egypt was darkness covering the land for 3 days. The darkness was so thick that it could be felt, trapping the Egyptians in a state of fear and confusion. During the 3 days of darkness, no one could see each other or move from their place, causing a complete standstill in the kingdom. As the darkness lifted after 3 days, the Egyptians were left in awe and shock at the devastation caused by this plague. The ninth plague of darkness served as a powerful reminder of the power of the God of the Hebrews and his ability to bring judgment upon those who oppressed his people. The darkness also marked a turning point for Pharaoh, as he began to realize the futility of defying the will of the Hebrew God. With the darkness lifted and Pharaoh's heart softened, the stage was set for the final confrontation that would lead to the freedom of the Hebrews from Egypt. As the Hebrew people awaited their imminent liberation, they stood united in faith and determination, ready to follow Moses on their journey to freedom. The 10th plague of Egypt was the death of the firstborn sons. As the angel of death passed through Egypt, it brought sorrow and despair to all. The devastation caused by the 10th plague finally convinced the Pharaoh to free the Israelites from slavery. As the Israelites left Egypt, they carried with them both the memory of the plague and the hope for a brighter future. The 10th plague of Egypt marked a significant turning point in the story of liberation and faith for the Israelites. With the 10th plague, the power of God was unmistakably demonstrated, solidifying his presence among the Israelites. The 10th plague of Egypt served as a pivotal moment in biblical history, showcasing the divine authority and mercy of God. The 10th plague of Egypt left a lasting impact on the Israelites, shaping their identity and faith for generations to come. Reflecting on the 10th plague of Egypt reminds us of the power of faith, redemption, and the enduring legacy of God's grace. Through the story of the 10th plague, we are reminded of the importance of perseverance, faith, and the eventual triumph of good over evil. I'm glad you enjoyed watching the 10 Plagues of Egypt Part 2 on Into the Bible Verse. We appreciate your support and hope you continue to enjoy our content. Stay connected for more exciting Bible stories and insightful videos.